Good evening, my Rosalinds and Rosikins. I hope you're having a splendid evening. Mother is back with a video dedicated to my Native American heritage slash ancestry. So I wanted to make this video or explore this because I recently changed my hairstyle, and most of you are used to seeing me with my locks or my curls. Not really so much my straight look or hair style on myself. And I realized that when I wear my straight hair, I feel like, or a straight hair texture, because you all know that I baked chop recently. So doing yaki, kinky, type of look clip-ins, right? But when I wear a straight hair, it always gives me a different look. And I never could pinpoint. I always associate my straight hairstyles with like sophisticated and wise. It gives me a mature look, like a natural, simple beauty look. And, recently I took my ancestry test and whatnot. And I feel like it gives me a Native American beauty representation in a sense. And I wanted to dedicate this video to me exploring my ambiguity and exploring parts of myself with my Native American ancestry in mind, right? So, I want to start by saying that I'm currently doing research about Native Americans and their beauty secrets slash tips. And what I'm finding out is that a lot of their practices coincide with African American practices as well as some African practices. And I find it so interesting because some of these things I'm already incorporating. And so let me give some examples. And I hope this inspires you all to embrace your ambiguity through different ancestral connections you have. As you know, I have European ancestral connections as well as Native American ancestral connections as well as African ancestral connections. And there are specific European groups that I'm connected to through my ancestry, and there are specific African groups I'm connected to through my ancestry because these are not just like a one size fits all, right? And then I'm also African American to my core, born and raised African American, have roots to the Southern African Americans in this country, right? And then I also have my Native American connection in my bloodline. So I have a lot going on that I'm proud of and that, elevate me spiritually and physically. And it gives me a lot to explore in regards to how I choose to present to the world and the fashion statements I might want to make, as well as some of the diet choices I choose to delve into, and some of the magical practices I choose to incorporate into my everyday rituals in life, and beauty, overall beauty that I choose to explore and make a regimen out of. Okay. So, some examples that I am currently exploring or have done, I'm going to say that I have done, are well, I'm going to go with what I'm exploring first. The Yuko plant was used by several Native American tribes to encourage hair growth and to prevent baldness. The crushed roots were soaked in water to make a hair wash. Other methods involved peeling the bark of the root, which was rubbed in a pan of shallow water to make suds to rub into the hair and scalp. Yucca was also used as a hair wash for newborns by the Uni Indians to try to help their hair grow healthy and strong. So I found this very interesting because when I go shopping, like at my local like commissary, etc., I see this type of plant there, like in the vegetable produce aisle, and I never know what it is. I literally thought that it's like African based. I really thought so. I know that's so weird, but I always thought so because I also saw it in an international African store and Caribbean stores as well, like grocery stores. So obviously, it's an indigenous type of beauty secret, but I'm introduced to it through here with me doing Native American beauty, secrets research. And so I think I'm gonna buy some and grind it up, I think in a blender or soak it like they said, and I'm going to put it as a paste on my scalp. I'm gonna look up different like deep conditions I can do with it, or maybe use it as a shampoo, but I find it very interesting. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to add too that I do practice is the cutting of the hair. So, throughout time, Native Americans held the belief that when one's hair is cut, they lose a small aspect of the relationship with themselves. The Navajo, for example, traditionally and ceremonially cut their children's hair on their first birthday and thereafter let it grow unimpeded, right? So they just let it continue to grow. And also, I want to add that I believe that I do because I told you guys about my root work and whatnot and how I believe in that I come from a great people, a chosen people, right? And I know that within the Bible, they talk about that. I believe I have Hebrew roots as well. So for me, they talk about how Samson was told not to cut his locks, just let it grow and grow and grow, right? And the strength of hair and the spirituality that is connected to hair. The Native Americans also practice this, where they just let their hair grow and grow and grow. However, in the reading, I'm going to continue. There are certain occasions where they will cut it. Okay. However, many tribes cut their hair while grieving the death of an immediate family member or to signify a traumatic event or a major life change. Cutting the hair at these times represents the time spent with the deceased loved one and its ending. It can also represent a new beginning. Additionally, cut hair is never thrown away by Native Americans. It's usually ceremonially burnt with sage or sweetgrass and smudging rituals to release the hope, prayers, and dreams of the owner to the creator. So for me, also like hoodoo, because hoodoo involves Native American and African spirituality as well as Christianity. Um, they also talk about as some practices using hair inside of your magical spells, etc., to enhance it and to make it more personal. And for me, every time I cut my hair, it's because it's a big life change for me or something traumatic happened, right? I cut my hair before I started my independent journey as a grown 21-year-old that just began teaching and I let it grow out, right? I cut my hair recently as well and cut off my locks because I feel like my locks held energy from basic and AIT, and I want to start a new chapter in my life, and I want my curls back without any restraint. So again, and my locks also help me along my spiritual journey to like appreciate my natural beauty and to be healthier, etc., right? And so a lot of things that I've done where I have to cut my hair also mimics these Native American practices without me even knowing, right? And then I was looking at like more things about Native American women and their beauty practices specifically, not just Native American culture, but Native American women and traditional makeup. So Native American women have been using natural pigments to decorate their faces for centuries. For example, the Haudenosaunee use a bright red pigment made from crushed berries to decorate their cheeks and lips. The Navajo use a mixture of clay and charcoal to create black eyeliner. These traditional makeup techniques not only enhance the natural beauty of Native American women, but also connect them to their cultural heritage. So when I hear that or read that, it makes me think of like I forgot what that plush. It's something like that. It's some type of like do-it-yourself type of beauty shop where like they make everything out of natural like resources for your beauty, including like makeup and face wash, lotions, etc., conditioners, for your hair and skin and body. So it makes me think of the practices I do now where I try to enhance my beauty naturally. And it makes me be more like, I guess, accepting and experimental with wanting to try do it yourself beauty, like recipes. For example, about a couple years ago, I would try to make my own like foundation or powder using cinnamon, nutmeg, and oh, excuse me, I forgot what else. I think it was baking powder. You just mix it together and then you like create the hue that you are because you all know I'm a brown, so it starts getting exotical. More brown leaning, technically. But those colors, cinnamon, all that, like cocoa and all that, it fits my skin. So I tried it and it worked, but I was smelling like cinnamon and whatnot. It was very interesting. Okay, spiritual beauty. For Native American women, beauty is not just about physical appearance. Spiritual beauty is just as important. Native women often participate in traditional ceremonies and practices that promote spiritual well being, such as smudging with sage. And I literally have a sage like clearing spray because, I don't want to set off any fire alarms, so I sage with spray. Praying and participating in sweet lodge ceremonies. These practices help to connect Native women with their culture, community, ancestors, which enhances their overall beauty and sense of well-being. So for me, I am big on, as you all know, ancestor veneration and honoring those who came before me, especially the women. No shade, no tea. Anyway, it's a matriarch over here, honey. I love like just being able to look at the beauty of the women in my family and enhance my own because I find them very beautiful. And for here, Native American women are big on ancestor veneration, according to this article. And I feel like the praying and whatnot, I'm literally just like, I don't know, it just comes naturally. For me, prayer is just a conversation with God, right? Or your goddess, or etc., spirit, right? And then also with the ancestor veneration, I think of African culture and how it's natural, especially in hoodoo. Hoodoo is all about ancestral veneration. And what I do know, and I'm gonna keep saying this, is it involves Native and African spirituality. So I love it. I love the connection that I naturally do that also traces not just my African heritage, but also, or specifically African American heritage in regards to hoodoo, but African heritage in regards to also they do ancestral veneration, and the Native American traces to that as well. Embracing natural beauty, many Native American women embrace their natural beauty and avoid using products or procedures that alter their appearance. Now, for me personally, I'm not against that, but I do believe in going the natural route first. And then if all else fails with your natural route of weight loss, of like changing, making your skin better, exercise, diet, all that, if it still doesn't get you the results you want, even though you've been consistent and you've seen, things change, but it's just not changing enough for you after you reach your goal, I'm not against procedures to enhance your beauty. For example, many American women do not use hair dyes or chemical straighteners. They also avoid using excessive makeup or cosmetic procedures. So for me personally, I agree with the excessive makeup thing because my skin is sensitive as hell. And I try to go where I want to be a baddie when I take off the makeup. I want to be beautiful when I take it off. Like the picture that I use in this, as you can say, video is me without any makeup, but just my hair done. And so I find it very interesting. For me, I just put foundation, mascara, and a little bit of eyebrow liner, right? For my regular makeup and my red lipstick is my signature red lip gloss, NYX, get your life. So I love simple beauty because simple beauty to me, I don't know, it's just effective. Now, I believe in the future I'm going to try different makeup styles because, as you all know, Claudine Wolf from Monster High is literally my brown says dark skin exotical baddie queen inspo when it comes on to fashion, beauty, etc. I aspire to be a Claudine doll in real life, and I am going to be that because mother's a big manifester and mother don't play. Anyway, so I find it interesting, but for me, I just like simple. I like simple beauty. That's how I am. I don't like to beat my face and all that extra stuff because I feel like I'm wearing a mask at that point. And there's nothing wrong with you ladies who do that or feel like you have to do that. But I don't know. One thing I will say that the toxic red pill, um, I guess, like influence I had at one point, what it did help me really, really cultivate more was my natural beauty. I'll say that. I don't listen to them now in that sense because they're very toxic, as you all know. My Roslins are Roslins. But the point of being able to embrace your beautiful self naturally, I think that that is important for every woman, no matter your ethnicity, background, etc. Okay, instead, they focus on enhancing their natural features and taking care of their skin and hair using natural ingredients and traditional practices, which I do every day, right? I like to use my herbs and my oils. I like to use my rose water, etc. I like to drink certain teas. I like to detox with natural herbs. I like sea moss. I like juicing. I like things like that. Like I like all these different things that will big up my natural beauty, right? Like fake nails, fake hair, all this stuff is extra, but best believe mother takes care of herself underneath all that because you have to. You just have to. So, I say all that to say, Native American ancestors, I completely adore you. You are impacting my life and have without me even knowing before I even got my results, but I felt drawn. Like when I was younger, My favorite movie was Pocahontas. Well, one of mine. Lion King, Pocahontas. Those are my two favorite Disney movies of all time. And I remember when the grandmother Willow Tree would sing "Listen to Your Heart" to Pocahontas. It was so magical, and I felt so connected to her. And not knowing that this is where I come from, as well as like the Lion King. But I can talk about that African roots in a different one where I paid homage to my African side, right, and my African ancestry. But specifically with my Native American ancestry, specifically the North American one, where I come from, I am just honored and blessed to have a Native American influence and homage in my ancestry, because Native Americans are spiritual, beautiful, powerful people, and I don't take it lightly. And just the fact I'm Indigenous Americas, like I have a percentage of that in my blood, and I have some part of that in my bloodline. It just makes me feel more connected to America, even more so, despite all the craziness that's going on in America. I do believe that America is a beautiful place, and we are privileged to live in a country like this. How long we're going to be privileged is questionable, but I come from people that made roots here as well as others, and I love it. So that's all I want to say. Mother's going to go now. I hope you guys have a nice day, a nice evening, and a great 4th of July for tomorrow. And remember, my Roslins and Rosikins, embrace all your ambiguity as well as your African roots. Do not let anyone try to shit on who you are and what you represent. I don't care what percentage it is of something other than your blackness or African roots. It still validates you because you are part of that community. Whether you grew up in it or not, it's in your blood, literally. This is not you being delusional. This is not you trying to be anything other than black. This is you recognizing that you are more than black. Literally, it's in your DNA. Um, and that, you have different avenues of beauty you can explore. So please do that. Okay?